Hi, I'm Glenn Heemstra from Futurist.com. I'm on the organizing committee for Mark Anderson's annual Future in Review conference. And each year at the conference, a number of startup companies or early stage companies are selected, primarily based on the criteria that they're going to make a significant difference in the world, as well as they have a good chance of being successful. And one of the FiReStarter companies this year is PowerAssure, and I'm here with Brad Wurtz, CEO. And PowerAssure is in the business of trying to manage power. Tell us about what you're doing.
Sure. First of all, just thanks very much for being here. It's an honor to be selected as a FiReStarter company. What we're doing is seeking to build intelligent data centers. And you would think that that was something that was already in place, right? We have intelligent buildings, we have intelligent cars. You walk around your house, sometimes lights will go on when you enter the room, when you leave they turn off. Data centers aren't built that way, and it's ironic that so many people here are technologists, and we use technology every day, but data centers consume a tremendous amount of power and are terribly inefficient. So today, data centers in the U.S. alone consume about 3% of our total electricity.
Yes, we know that they build them specifically near cheap power centers and so on, because they consume so much power. So I'm really surprised that they're not going in highly energy efficient.
The reason is data centers have always been built to meet their peak demand. So for a company like Intuit, say, they build it to meet their highest demand point, which is 10 of 12 on April 14th. The rest of the year, all those servers are turned on but doing nothing. On a global level, there was a recent study that showed that $25 billion of power was wasted every year by servers turned on and doing absolutely nothing in data centers. The average data center in the U.S. runs at 10% utilization.
Wow.
So 90% of the time, it's doing nothing.
So how does PowerAssure then approach this problem? What are some of the things that you're doing to make it more efficient, more carbon friendly, or carbon neutral, and so on?
What we're doing is tying all of the assets, all the equipment in a data center directly to user demand. So just like when you go in and start your car when you want to leave, you go. And if you have a Prius, it stops at the stoplight and the engine turns off and then turns on when you're ready to go. So instead of always leaving things on all the time in a data center, we are making it so that all of the servers and associated equipment are only being turned on and used when there is user demand. So as user demand increases, we bring systems online, and as user demand decreases, we take them offline. And that may mean turning them off, it may mean just putting them to sleep, or into a low power mode. And actually over the next couple of years, as server technology evolves, we'll be able to turn off individual components in those servers and make them even more efficient.
So is this a box that's put on kind of on the outside of the building that monitors stuff going in and out, or is it a software solution that goes into each server, or is it a combination of that?
It's a combination. We usually install a couple of appliances in a data center that sit on the management network and pull in all the information on where the electricity is being used, and also the information on where the demand is coming from. So on a per application basis, we're actually tracking what user demand is every minute in real time. And that way we can respond in real time to meet any increases in demand and then keep it at the minimum level that they can keep it viable, so that if there is a spike, we can always respond and meet their service level agreements, because that's what CIOs are paid for. Number one is to meet service level agreements.
Okay, and I know that you have some projects going with the Department of Energy, or a grant from the Department of Energy, and a project going on with the Palo Alto Research Center.
Yes.
So you're beginning to do installations.
Yes, we do. We received a $5 million grant from the Department of Energy to to further the market acceptance of our existing product, and then also to take it to the next step. So if you look into the future of data centers and how we integrate with the smart grid, this is what the Department of Energy is funding. So that if you think about multiple data centers all working together, as load shifts in one part of the country, then you could move the load to another part of the country where energy is cheaper, or where you may need more load and a utility company needs to get better access to what their customers are doing. So that's all down the road of how we tie into the smart grid,
Okay.
which is really what
Okay.
the DOE is funding.
Yeah.
But for today, we have a number of initial installations in the federal government, in Fortune 500 companies, and we're just starting now to expand our footprint.
Well, fantastic. And I know that the smart grid is going to be theoretically a very big deal over the next 5 or 10 years, so it sounds like you're well positioned to be a player in that. Congratulations on being a FiReStarter.
Thank you very
at
much.
the 2010
Appreciate it.
Future in Review Conference, and have a good time at the conference. Congratulations.
Thanks.